classify the data, how to evaluate the data, and what are the different techniques included in it. All these things will be learned. As the name itself says, in this unit, you will be learning and understanding the definition of data mining, what are the different techniques, then we'll be also learning the KDD process, depending on application, how to utilize those methods. All these things will be learned and dwelt in Unit 4. Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the very first session. Yeah, you people have completed your third semester and I warmly welcome you all to the next stepping semester, that's none other than fourth semester. Up next, heading up with the fresh semester, the subject that I have opted for you is none other than fundamentals of data science. This is one of very crucial subject with respect to the current trend. It starts with the basic understanding of data, how we will be dealing with the data and how to classify those data, how to group those data and what are the different methods, techniques. All these things with respect to data will be studied under this fundamentals of data science. Over here, my name is Deepa Kutnikar. I'm working as an assistant professor under Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, Temple of Excellence, Mysore. Let's see what is the agenda of today's session. In today's session, we will be understanding like what is the course code and the number of credits that is been allotted for this subject. Up next, we will also be discussing like what is the maximum marks allocation. Then we will also be understanding which is the reference book that we have to refer for this subject. Also, crucially, we will be understanding the outcome of the subject, like by studying this subject, fundamental of data science, what is the advantage or the outcome, how it will be helping me in real world. So all these things will be understood under our course outcome. Up next, we will be discussing the content of different units, what are the number of units and what is included in those units. Finally, we will be discussing the question paper pattern, also the internals. So this is the agenda of today's session. Let's begin our session. Here, the course code of the subject is CAE 411. So this is the course code and the number of credit which has been allotted for the subject is 3. Next, the standard book of reference. It is none other than Data Mining Concepts and Techniques by J.V. Han and Michael Cambar. So this is a third edition which is being published by Morgan Kaufman Publishers, that is MK Publishing House. So this is the reference book which is easily available on digital platforms like Amazon, and you can also buy them in the offline stores too. Next, let's understand like what is the maximum marks for this subject. Yes, it's none other than 100, but how the 100 marks is divided. Yes, as we all know, you people are studying the SEP syllabus affiliated to University of Mysore. So under SEP, the division or split up of marks is you'll be writing exams, that's theory exam for 80 marks, and the internal assessment which is commonly called as the formative assessment which is commonly called as internal, that you'll be writing it for 20 marks. So a total of 100 marks. All right, let's head up and understand what is the outcome of this subject. On successful completion of this subject, you will be able to understand like what is data mining. Then there is something called as KDD, which is nothing but database. So you'll also be learning KDD and the real world application of data mining. After learning about data, we have to we have to divide the data, correct? So we will be going with the mining, pattern mining, and the second outcome is all about that pattern mining techniques as well as data pre-processing, how the received data is pre-processed, then the pre-processed data is patternized by using different pattern techniques, and under this patternization we will be using two different techniques, which is very important with respect to real world and even with respect to your exam point of view. That is none other than a priori and FP growth algorithm. So algorithms which helps in understanding the pattern mining. Next, you'll be also learning how to classify the data, how to evaluate the data, and what are the different techniques included in it. All these things will be learned, and this is our third outcome. Once the data is classified, what's next? We have to group the data, correct? So grouping of data is also called as clustering. We all know that. So that is our fourth outcome, where we will be learning and understanding various clustering techniques, and finally we will be evaluating the cluster results. So this is our fourth outcome. So all these things will be learned under the subject. As we understood the outcome of the subject, next let's understand what are the number of units that's been included in this under SCP syllabus. Yes, there is a total of only 4 units, and how the units are and what are the things you'll be learning and understanding in each unit. So let's start discussion on units. So unit 1 is all about data mining fundamentals. As the name itself says, in this unit, you will be learning and understanding the definition of data mining, what are the different techniques, then you will be also learning the KDD process, then the data mining functionalities. Also, you will be learning what are the different challenges, what are the different advantages, applications of data mining. So basically the first unit gives you a complete overview of the basic data mining fundamentals. Up next, the second unit. Yes, the second unit is data warehousing and pre-processing. Once you gather the data, then the next step is processing or pre-processing the data. So what happens? In some cases, we will directly consider data, but in some cases, we need pre-processed data. So what are the different techniques included in pre-processing the data, and the data what we have directly taken or pre-processed, how these data has to be stored. So there is something called as a warehouse where multiple data systems are integrated to store their information. So that is all about data warehousing. Okay, under data warehousing, you'll be learning OLAP operations, which is a technique under data warehousing. Then there will be a rest of data which is not used. So those data will be cleaned and the required data will be integrated, and further it has to be transformed and reduced. So all these things will be studied under Unit 2. Let me tell you, Unit 2 is a bit vast compared to Unit 1, because here we will be studying different techniques which we use in our real world environments. Classification, yes, Unit 3 is all about classifications, where we understand different methods included in classifications like decision tree induction, Bayes classification, rule based classification, and there is something called as lazy learners classifications too. So we will be learning all these things under Unit 3. After classifying, what is next? We have to group, correct? So that group is none about clustering, which forms our Unit 4. Under this, we will be initially understanding like the basics of clustering, how it has to be done. Next, in order to cluster it, what are the different methods that are available, and depending on application, how to utilize those methods. All these things will be learned and dwelt in Unit 4, where we have different methods like partitioning method, hierarchical method, density-based methods, and grid-based methods. So all are different clustering methods that we will be studying in our fourth unit. Yes, we have completed all 4 units, and I believe it is very easy and simple for you to understand like what is there in your complete syllabus of fundamentals of data science, right? Moving forward, let's understand the internals criteria. Formative assessment, where you'll be writing internal for 20 marks. So how this 20 marks is scored? Yes, there will be 2 different internals. Yes, you know this. For first internal, the unit split up is the first 2 units will be there for first internal, and for second internal, next 2 units will be there. And for final IA marks finalization, the average of both the internals will be considered. Up next, let's see the question paper pattern for 80 marks. 20 marks we have secured in our IA. Up next, how to score 80? It is very easy. Nothing to worry. As usual, there will be part A and part B in your question papers, where part A will be of 20 marks, wherein you'll be having basic questions like 2 marks questions that will be for 10 marks. So 10 into 2 will yield you 20 marks. Under part B, there will be 4 different questions where each question carries 15 marks. So you'll be scoring 60 marks under part B. So this is a mark split up, and finally 60 plus 20 will yield us a total of 80 marks. So this is a question paper pattern for your fundamentals of data science. Isn't it easy? Yes, it is very easy, and it is very nearest to real world applications. So this was all about today's session. See you in the next starting of unit 1. Till then, thank you.